Hey school family, wishing you all well during this time. We're missing all of you, the Blue Aprons, and Angela and I, we all are talking about how much we miss all of you. So we decided to start sending some videos, and I thought that we could do a check-in on our baby snails, since those were a big topic in our classroom. And we were very excited because we'd had these adult snails for several years without any babies, and we finally got babies. We got so many babies though. So I'm gonna pull a few out so you can see how much they've grown and how different their sizes are, because they were all born at the same time and they all hatched just kind of overnight. You can see how different they are. These were born at the same time, they're the same age, and they are quite different in size. And you can see on this one, you can really see the whorls. Those are the little spirals on the shell there. I'm not sure if it's focused. There we go. But we were going to talk a little bit about how to take care of them today, because there's been quite a bit of rain coming up. You might be finding snails at your house, and if you want to take care of them during the quarantine, I wanted to teach you a couple of things that you can do. So the first thing is to get a container that has some air holes. Now, I had gotten this new one before we had any of the babies, and it turns out this one, the holes are just a little too big because some of the babies are escaping out of here. So every day I have to go back and put some of the babies back in, but that's okay. They just want to go on adventures. They don't want to be quarantined either. And so when you do that, you're going to want to put about 1.5 to 2 inches of soil there. We started a little lower, but as the food that they're eating starts to degrade, it's starting to build up the levels there. So you do a little bit of that, and you pick up your snails with very gentle touches. You can see that one went inside. It wasn't ready to come back out. And when you get that soil in there, then you can start giving them all of the fresh foods and vegetables. So they don't like salt, they don't like pepper, any spices, they don't like cooked foods. Just ones that have been basically anything that's been in your fridge for too long and maybe you're not so eager to eat it anymore. Or I have, like, these were pieces of asparagus. This part was a little bit too tough to eat, so we stuck those in there. I had some yellowing leaves that were on the plants here in the garden behind me, and we went ahead and put those in. So what you can do is you just put the food in, you give them water every day, and then they're all set. And with the rain coming up, you might be able to, or maybe when you get this video, maybe it'll have already passed, you're probably going to find more snails. So you can go out, do a little snail capture and release later on. When quarantine's over, you can let them go. Or you can choose to keep taking care of them, whatever works for you. So what you do later on, when you're realizing that they're not really eating the food anymore because it looks like this, you just take them out one by one, and you start checking, making sure there's no baby snails on them. The adults are a lot easier to keep track of, but you check and make sure there's no babies on there, because they'll do this too. You can see they started to eat down into the center of this asparagus stalk. So they might be in there, but it looks like that one doesn't go too far. And oh, it looks like this one's maybe having some breakfast today. You can see the snail there. Let's see if it gets focused. That's one of the babies too that was born I think they were born that first long weekend in January, right before the semester began. That was when they were born. You can see its 2 eyes are out. It's looking around in different directions, and then below the eyes are the feelers that help it kind of decide where it wants to go. I'm going to bring out this bigger one so you can see it. So this one has the 2 eyes out, and it retracted them a bit when I brought it out because that's part of its defense mechanism. It retracts back into its shell to stay safe, kind of like its own little safe place. And then it has the 2 feelers on the bottom there. And underneath, that whole piece is its foot. And you can see it's really stretching out. Let's see if you can find, I wonder if you can see it right in there. There's a little hole, and that's actually its air hole. That's one of the ways it breathes. And up here you can see it's got 2 little, kind of like lips, except they're not called lips. They don't really have a name, or at least not when you look in basics snail anatomy. But that is how they open up their mouth and start to eat. Oh, there you go. So we'll go through and I'll take off this little baby snail so we can get rid of that food. And basically you just check on them for a little bit every day. Make sure they're doing okay. And that's that. So hopefully you can find some snails this week and take care of them for a bit and observe the changes as the weeks go by, or hopefully just a couple more days. We'll see what happens, but we're missing all of you and we wish you well.